Hey, it's 8 o'clock. I tried to do it. I didn't do it this time. It's 8 o'clock on the East Coast. It is a Wednesday. It is Wednesday, isn't it?
That's the rumor. Yeah.
It is? Yeah. That means it's time for this week at Gear-Report, where we talk about all the things that have been published since the last show, which would have been last Wednesday, and get a little bit of preview of things that are on the way. So that's what's happening. We've got an esteemed panel assembled, and you never know, we may get some more folks show up. We may not, but I'm
late
happy.
Stragglers.
Yeah, I'm a little offended by what you got on your title there, though. I mean, let's be honest.
World leader.
Assistant Overlord TJ. I mean, I told you early. First thing I said, dude, just get rid of the assistant. You just be an Overlord, man.
Yeah, that's your title.
Mm.
World domination is an Overlord. That's the way it goes.
I guess.
I know.
Hey, I'm easy to get along with tonight, so whatever.
So basically what he's saying, Jeff, is watch out for that assassination attempt. He might want to take your spot as true Overlord. Oh, I'm sorry, TJ. Did I give out the plan? My bad.
No. I would never do that.
I think Jeff would give it to you if you really wanted it.
Yeah. Like, you want to take care of this Wednesday? Perfect. Let's go. I'm done.
Well, not just Wednesday. I mean, if you're going to take over, you got to take all of it. If I can ever find someone crazy enough to do that, I'll be like, here you go. See ya.
I can't do the camping to the Humvee stuff, so you're on your own on that.
All right.
No campy.
Well, let's see. Where shall we start? Let's do this. What do you guys want to talk about first?
A review.
We have to talk? I was just
here fine.
I was just here for the cookies in the green room.
We're going to go here first. We're going to go with one of our guest reviews.
There you go.
And I'm going to lead off with a bit of an apology that this one kind of got lost in my inbox. And it was supposed to be published at the start of the holiday season.
It's good for next year.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm thinking is, the way SEO works, the search engine optimization, we've got a few months for this to get indexed and ranked. So it'll be sit there primed and ready to go for next season. So it's not that I'm late in publishing it. I'm early for publishing for next year. Yep. That is my story. Yep.
Is that a bright red Santa Snuggie the dude on the right's wearing?
Could be.
Wow.
I wonder if it's a heated Snuggie.
Hey, I'm still looking for one of those. Seriously.
I'm still waiting on one. So.
I know Jeff is.
When I find it, you will receive it, my friend.
and I really can't wait. I mean, I'm not joking even a little bit. This one, Mark runs LA Police Gear, and he asked if he could do some guest posts here and there. So here we go. This one, I think sometimes we get guest posts, and it's like you look at the topic and you look at who sent it, and it's like, all right, I generally get that when someone who runs a company sends a guest post, they're looking to sneak a couple links back to their site into the article. I get that. And I'm upfront with them, and I tell them, as long as it's a good article that's going to be interesting and compelling for the audience, I don't care if we have a couple links going back to your site. That's fine. But it's got to be a good article. So this one, he starts off with some activities you can do. Foraging. Yeah, he kind of lost me with foraging. But, it's a lost skill that people should probably learn how to do better at.
I have no idea what you're talking about, foraging.
Really? It's a fun outdoor tradition that even many young family members can partake in. But be careful.
I don't know what it is.
Because not everything out in the wilderness is safe to eat. Make sure you invest in a good book on edible plants so you can make sure everything you eat is safe.
There you go.
Foraging, though. See if you can find edible wild greens, berries, nuts, mushrooms, and other vegetables found in the wild. So that's foraging, hunting for food.
There you go.
But not hunting, but like looking for food. Naturally edible stuff. Cool story here. at the end of air crew survival training, Air Force training, that we were out in the Pacific Northwest, and we did the field portion of the training was in the Olympic National Forest, a huge, really, really cool area out there. And they gave us a couple rabbits that we had to raise and take care of and name and play with a prescribed number of times a day. Everyone had to interact with the rabbits. So then when we thumped them on the head and ate them later, we get over that resistance to killing something. But then, we had to do map and compass stuff as well. And we had to cover a fair amount of ground, 10, 15 miles or so. In the wilderness on our own, with our map and compass skills. And along the way, we didn't have a lot of food. So a lot of people were just like, screw it, I'm just going to go hungry. And we're only out here for a couple days. And I got an MRE or two. That'll be enough. And they're going nuts. They're so hungry. I'm like eating everything as we're walking. We get back and they weighed everyone before you went in the field, weighed everyone you got back. And they start interrogating me. Whose food were you taking? You snuck food out there with you, didn't you? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like the one guy's like, I've been teaching here for 15 years. I have never seen anyone gain weight in the backcountry. You gained 1.5 pounds while you were out there. Like, dude, you taught the class on what kind of food is out there. I ate everything. It's like, I'll be damned.
It's like, that a boy, Cankles. There you go.
I lost quite a bit of weight.
Yeah.
Not that I had a whole lot of weight to lose, but
I was at that point in my life, I think it's fair to say I was a semi-pro forager. And I've made snow ice cream. We call it snow cream. I've gone on a holiday hike. I have not done a family camping trip during the holiday season
whatsoever.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Gather natural elements for gift wrapping. I don't like that idea either. Local outdoor holiday celebrations would be awesome if the local people weren't there because they annoy me. Let's see. Family fishing trip. Nope.
You mean if you were allowed outside?
But I could launch beautiful sky lanterns. That would be fun. Sign up for a race. I can absolutely do that. Run the race? I don't think so.
No. So I have signed up to be a part of the Murphy Challenge. I don't know if you guys know.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty rough.
I'm going to do that in May. So I got to start preparing for that for sure.
Yeah. I'll say you do. No, I would have commented on you. Murph's hard, dude. That's I don't care who you are. It's
really hard. But,
I'm gonna have to research it. I need a challenge. I gotta shed some pounds.
So you've heard, the movie Lone Survivor with Marcus Luttrell, right? So his lieutenant was Mike Murphy. Okay, he was the officer in charge of that SEAL team platoon, and basically he's famous for his own PT that he would do, and he would put on a 20-pound flak jacket, and he'd go run a mile, and then he'd do 100 pull-ups, then like 300 sit-ups, or 200 sit-ups, something like that, and then push-ups, and then like 300 air squats, and then go run another mile, all with this flak jacket on. And he was always trying to break an hour to do all that. And it's brutally hard. I will probably take about 2 hours to get it done. I have no problem. As long as I finish, I don't particularly care. But it's going to
finish. I like it. I'll have to look into that, see if they have one around here somewhere.
Well, they've got them different places, but what they're trying to do is, so Mike Sauer, he's a former SEAL as well. He runs Fords. I don't know if you guys, the T-shirt apparel come in Fords. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not. Anyway, so what he's trying to do is, if you can't, a lot of people aren't going to go to Washington, D.C. or out to California or wherever to do it. So what he's trying to do, especially with COVID stuff, is everyone to do it on their own at their house, videotape it, and send in your results into this main database, and so people can prove that you did it. And then there's a trophy for the people that get the best times and all that. So it'd be kind of interesting.
That would be. I could do that. I could do that virtual around here.
I'm not doing it.
I'm gonna give it a shot.
I'm not fooling anyone.
You know me. I'm up for a challenge.
I'd think about it. It sounds a lot of reasons why I should do it. Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I gotta get in better shape for basketball, Jeff. You know me. Gotta run up and down that court.
Yeah. Buck had a good observation that with all the big tents, family camping might not be such. It wouldn't be such close quarters, at least. But in cold weather, what would we have to contend with, TJ? In cold weather camping?
Oh, the ecosystem in each tent.
Ecosystem, yeah. Those big tents, man, they rain inside. It's crazy.
It was a rainforest. I was like, "What's going on in here?"
Yep, getting dripped on.
You got to put them up and pull them down, and those things are not fun to assemble and disassemble.
Yeah. All right, so let's see what else we have to talk about. I have put most of my time lately, I've been out in the garage working on the truck. So I'm going to walk you guys through some of the stuff that's been done, because some of it's pretty cool. Some of it was boring and sucked. The LED turn signals, big upgrade, I'm happy about. But, kind of boring to most people. I did get to throw a bunch of sparks, trimming the armor panels that I put on the sides,
Nice.
so that they wouldn't interfere with the doors. I threw a lot of sparks. I had 4 pieces on each panel that had to be trimmed because they're made to go with the heavy duty doors, and apparently the latches need those little bumps where I had to cut them off so they'd fit, but they're there to hold the doors closed, and since I'm using a different type of door, they had to be cut off, so that kind of sucked. I had to pull all of the hubs on each axle off to check these. You see there, they call them spindle nuts. It keeps the axle itself from coming out of the hub, and your wheel and a little stub axle rolling down the road beside you, which is important because these things are like 165 pounds for the wheel and axle and the run flat and everything. So it could literally kill people if it comes off. So
Were they in bad shape, or was it just I'm doing it?
What's that?
Were they in bad shape, or were you just like, "Oh, I'm going to do it"?
Something that you have to check when you get a surplus Humvee, or whether you get it from someone else or not. It's always good. There's a cover, and you can see in the top picture here, the cover has got bolt holes in the corner. So you got to take 4 bolts out. You drain all the oil out of the hub, take those 4 bolts out, pull it open, check the nut that's in there, the big nut that you see in the pictures, to make sure everything's the way it should be, and then seal it all back up. Put some RTV on it, spread it around, and seal it back up, and fill it full of oil. And 2 of the hubs had moisture in them. So that oil should be kind of yellowish when it comes out, not snot green. The snot green means that it had some water that got in it. So it's good. The right side, both of them had some moisture in them. So it's good that I got that changed out.
Are you running the run flats on that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Interesting.
Well, the wheels don't have the normal bead on them like a civilian wheel. So if you don't have the run flat in, then the tire can actually come off the wheel. So the run flats
did you have to go get them, or are you using the ones that came with it, or did you have to go get them?
I've got military tires and everything on it.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, but it was neat that in all the Humvees, I've had a couple, I've seen a bunch. I'd not seen one with this kind of spindle nut in it. This is the absolute latest. I didn't even know that they had this kind in them. So that's kind of neat. It's got updated everything because this is a lot of military units. Their trucks aren't as new as this one, which is kind of a shame that they sold it to me instead of giving it to someone who could use the latest and greatest. Anyhow, those hubs took me forever. A lot of work getting that armor on, getting the LED lights and everything. I did have a little celebrate something positive. I picked up an electric impact wrench that runs off the slave cable port in the truck, so it's powered by the vehicle, and it worked. I got it cheap at a place where I buy stuff that basically the military threw away. I didn't risk much money on it, but it works like a champ, and that's like a $250 item. So I'm thrilled that worked out. But the big news, the big thing I've been working on is putting a turret in the roof. And you see some of the pictures here of it in there. There's the weapons mount sitting on the weapon tray at the top, and then the cupola armor, they call it the GPK, the gunner protection kit, with the armor all the way around it. So, yep, all that stuff is set up.
Put a shield up there, or are you gonna go no shield?
I'm gonna get a shield.
Okay, cool.
And I'm debating. Last time I got the shield mount, and then I got the measurements for a shield and had someone make me one out of aluminum. My buddy James is like, dude, I can get you one pretty cheap. I mean, pretty cheap is still $400 or $500 probably. But he said, yeah, I can get you one. I said, but I don't want the real one because they're too heavy. I don't expect to be shot at. This is for display, for going to events and driving in parades and sitting at car shows, that kind of thing. I don't need a 300-pound chicken shield up top. I just need something that appears like a chicken shield, but weighs 75 pounds, so I can put it up there without equipment or by myself, So I'm still working on that. But that's the big deal, is not only do I have the GPK and the turret up there, and everything seems to be pretty good with that. But I also found out, and it looks like I didn't add it to this yet. Did I? Oh, there's the side armor. I thought I had a picture in here somewhere. Maybe I didn't save it. But I eventually figured out that I could get it out of the garage, which is awesome. I thought with that, with the gunner protection kit on top, they would be too tall and I wouldn't be able to get out of the garage. So I assumed that I would have to take that armor off of the top to get it out. And then like when we go to an event, I'll just carry it in, and it's like 5 bolts to put it all together. Well, 6 at the back and then 2 at the front on each side and a couple more. So yeah, total is probably 12 or 15 bolts, but with a little electric impact drill driver, it's 10 minutes to take it apart and take it off or to put it back on. So I figured I'd set it all up and paint it in the garage, and then I'd have to take it off to get it out. But then I can actually drive it out of the garage. So I'm pretty thrilled about that.
That's a win. That's a win there.
It is, because it's a pain in the butt. Even though it's only 12 minutes to take it apart, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Who wants to do that? You'll lose something eventually.
What's that?
You'll lose something eventually.
What do you mean?
A bolt or a nut or a screw or something.
I've been told I got a screw loose, so
Several.
That's probably the one I'm going to lose, the loose one. Interesting. Man, my phone has been going nuts over here. I've got it silenced, and I'm not answering it, but whoever's calling me, stop. Are the parts easy to find? So the parts for Humvees are getting easier to find every day, but also getting harder sometimes too. More and more people have them. there have been 20, 30,000 of them sold into private owner hands in the last few years. Probably 30 or 40, I would guess, thousand. And a lot of parts people get surplus, and that, it's very spotty. When someone buys them, they'll buy 200,000 of a certain part, or 1,000 of a part, or whatever, and they sell them until they run out. When they run out, that part's just not available. So a lot of the manufacturers of those parts don't sell them directly to individuals, so they can be hard to find. The turret, the gunner protection kit, all of that kind of stuff is really difficult to find, generally speaking. And it makes it kind of pricey, and you got to know the right people to get it. And fortunately, I've figured out, some of the right folks to go to get some of that stuff. So, yeah. All right, let's see what else we have here. You know what? We're gonna let Ghost talk about the project that he put together here for a 48-hour emergency survival bag setup. It really kind of seems appropriate given the polar vortex going across the country right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those that JMA is putting together. He's opened up a shop, and he's gonna do get home / survival / emergency bags, but they're going to do them to where you just buy the bag and it's already in there. You don't have to worry about picking up the stuff you want. It's this one comes with this stuff, this one comes with this stuff, and you kind of pick which one you want, but they come pre-packed already, which I think is a great idea. And he sent me one because he said, look, I want you to kind of test the stuff out. Use it as a prototype and all that. Well, I said, okay, well, I've been doing that. Well, with all the cold weather, kind of like you said, I went out and shot a video of some of the stuff and ate some of the food and all of that. And what I really like about what he's doing is it's not loading you up with a bunch of heavy weighted things that you may or may not use. This is the stuff that is the bare essentials. Like, you've got to have multi-tools, a poncho, a med kit, some food, some water, a life straw, stuff like that. Like, the stuff is like, if you're stuck out in the wilderness for 48 hours with only this bag, we're not asking you to live for a month or a week. It's, can you get by for 48 hours till you can get home or to somewhere else? And I thought he did a really good job of putting the bag together.
Cool. Yeah, so this is something that I really thought that Jeremy would be here tonight to talk about the recent overlanding misadventures, I think is the way to word it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did you guys hear what happened?
No.
They went up to Kentucky on a solo weekend overlanding trip. So typically they go with another group. They're Jeeps or Toyotas or whatever, but they're not the only ones on the trail. Well, this time they said, oh, wouldn't it be romantic? Let's get away for a weekend. And then we're going to go south. But something happened and their destination wasn't available. So they found someplace else to go. It happened to be in Kentucky. Well, Kentucky's under a winter storm, and they get out there. They're by themselves. They're off-roading, right? They're going through mud holes, and they're going through one, and it drops off, and they're starting to tip over. So they kind of steer into it and power out of it. And they think, woohoo, all right, we almost tipped over, like out here in the almost freezing water in this mud hole. It was going to be a huge issue. And they're celebrating, right? Then when they start driving again, they realize they broke something. So they're stuck out in the wilderness.
Like a dry shaft or something, or what?
Something like that. It was a mount, a mount for something in the suspension on the passenger side, I think. So that wheel was tucked in like 2 or 3 or 4 inches further than it should have been and rubbing on the frame. They're afraid they're going to blow that tire. So, yeah, it was pretty scary for them, I think, not only because of that, but also it got really cold. they were stuck sleeping out on the trail in the vehicle. They thought they were going to be there like Friday night, Saturday night. They were also there Sunday night, as I understand it. They only had supplies for the time they were expecting to be there, not that extra day and night. So a bag like this with some extra supplies in it probably would have been very welcome to them. Lower control arm. It was a mount. Maybe it was a lower control arm mount, because they had some pictures of it. They literally ended up getting towed out of the park. They drove part of the way out, and then they got towed. The guy that towed them took them back to his shop like Monday morning, welded up the piece for them so they could drive home. And they're like, oh my God, it was amazing. And it wasn't even that expensive. And the guy did awesome work. And like, they couldn't have asked for a better situation when it came to the local guy they found to help them. But holy smokes, that is a good lesson, I think, with this polar vortex going through, in being prepared up front. And, fortunately, they had enough stuff with them that they may have been chilly, but they were safe and they're fine. So they had done a good job of preparing for survival. They could have done a little bit better if they wanted to really be comfortable, but at least they got the important part.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest problem that most people, they end up, and we're talking about the survival side of stuff, they start packing stuff to be comfortable, and that just loads up, whether a vehicle or a bag or whatever. If you want to be comfortable, then don't go out in the outdoors. I mean, it sounds bad, but just stay home. You're not going out there to be comfortable. You're going out there to experience something or whatever. But yeah, the difference between survival and being comfortable are on opposite sides of the spectrum there.
Yeah, certainly can be. A lot of people have died because they were trying too hard to be comfortable.
I wouldn't have made it in my flops and my cargo shorts, would I have?
Probably not.
Damn it. It's the extent,
and I would have
of my clothing.
I'd have had to have something other than Crocs, so
I know.
I'd have been in trouble.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's good. Hopefully some people will check out that article and kind of freshen up on the things that they may want to carry with them when they travel, from a survival standpoint.
Just keep it in the truck as a something,
Yep.
That's the whole point, is if you put a bag together like this, there's no reason to take it out of the vehicle. Just put it in there, and if you're ever in the vehicle, then you've got it, whether you need it or not. It's always there.
Yeah. All right. So just a real quick one here. A rapid tire deflator. This one, Rayteen, I guess, is, I don't know, Chinesium of some sort. And I heard from a guy that works in the off-road industry that he doesn't trust anything that isn't like an ARB or one of the big name brands. And apparently a lot of people struggle with the concept. These are pretty neat. And Jeremy and Kim did a video on a different brand of a similar item a couple months ago. And, Jason read the instructions before he did his video, and it was pretty simple and he had no issues. Jeremy and Kim like to do videos without reading the instructions just to see, okay, can they figure it out? For your average person who's not going to read instructions, how hard is it? They struggled with this because conceptually, you screw in the main body and then you use the little pull-out part of the shaft to remove the valve stem, the valve core from the valve stem, and let all the air out that way. And then put it back in when you get to the pressure you want. And I think that messes some people up. So, but yeah, Jason liked this, said it was pretty good. You can read about it if you want to know more about that option, if you're looking for a quick deflate option for your off-road vehicle. I dropped an email. Please check it when you get some time. Oh, from the UK. Interesting. Drawing made easy. Okay. Well, I'll check that out. I wonder what it's about. Do you think I'm in trouble? I'm in trouble for something, aren't I?
would say you're in trouble.
It's usually how it works. All right. I don't think the frigid leprechaun is going to be here. So let's talk about his AL-22 revolver that he had some issues with. So this one we posted with, what went wrong in this review. And the short version is we don't know. I mean, we know what he did to fix it, but he is not positive what kept it from working. Something about the cylinder stop, it wasn't working right. And when he talked to the manufacturer, and they had offered, yeah, hey, send it back, we'll figure it out. And Clover decided he would get his little magical leprechaun tools out, disassembled the gun, cleaned it, put it back together, and he said it's worked like a champ since. But he did have that issue. Yeah, it's kind of odd. And he seemed to think it's better than some of the other revolvers he's had from them. As far as a 22, when I hear a 22 revolver, well, you guys tell me, what do you think of? Is there a specific brand or model that comes to mind?
The Ruger.
Ruger, okay. Yeah, I think of the Heritage Rough Rider.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's cheap, and I'm telling you, I'm like, you know what? One of these days, I'm going to remember to buy one. Like, it's cheap enough. That's not stopping me from getting it. It's just that I always think about it like now, when I can't order one right now. By the time the show's over, I will have forgotten, and I won't order it. But I need to get one just because it's a little fun gun to shoot, and it's so dirt cheap. Like, getting ammo for it today would be more expensive than the gun itself.
Right.
This looks like a full-size revolver to me. It looks pretty awesome, actually, with those rubber grips and everything. Yep. But it's just a little 22. So
it's definitely Smith & Wesson looking.
Isn't it? Yep. But he says, not to spoil the whole review, not a Smith & Wesson, but you'll have to read the rest of the review, watch his video if you want to know what that butt was. Because I'm not telling.
No interest in his butt.
Yeah, now you sound like Arminthia.
Yeah, I don't think she has any interest either. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, let me cancel that. As predicted.
Yep. We talked about this.
We did. Although he's early.
He's early. Yeah.
I had called it as it will be 1 hour into the show. G23 will show up and say, okay, I'm here. You can start. But no, he was actually ahead of schedule tonight. So good job, man. You're overachieving this evening.
Oh, there's a Jeff question.
Life straw is pretty good for that type of thing. So when you say life straw devices, I'm assuming you mean just like a portable on the go, easy pocket water filter for a single person. That's what life straw is really good for, because you use it like a straw. And that's the one I would go with, is Life Straw. It's a good proven brand. If you're looking for water for not just for drinking, but for cooking, or even cooking, brushing your teeth, mixing with something, you don't want to just drink it. Maybe you want to mix some lemonade mix or something in it for flavor. That okay, good. So Life Straw, you're not really going to be able to do that. What I have, I have a couple of them for backpacking, and then I have a couple I just keep around the house for emergencies. They're gravity filters. So Sawyer is a brand, Sawyer, that has a very, very budget-friendly backpacking water filter that you can use with a squeeze bag, which is you get a bag that you screw the filter onto the top, and then when you squeeze the bag, it forces the water through, and then you can put it in a container so you can do whatever you want with it. You could cook with it, you can drink it, you can mix something in it, whatever. You got a lot of options. You can share it with people. It's not like you have a straw where you have to drink through it yourself. That's a good budget option. The flow rate's kind of slow, but that's probably where I would start if I were looking for something to toss in a bag. If it's just for me, Life Straw, I got a few bags with Life Straws in them that are kind of like go bag type things. But then I've got the bigger ones for, we were talking about the polar vortex and people getting stuck in their houses and hurricane season and other things like that. I've got a kit for my house that is just emergency stuff, water filtration, some long preservation, storage, food, other stuff like that. So yeah, here we go. Man, that's weird going off the rails, but doing it on something productive and not just kind of randomly, oh, squirrel. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. Ruger Wranglers are sweet. Okay. I'll take your word on it. All right. And I was actually, before we went off on that tangent, I was going to open another tab.
Oh, geez.
Here we go.
Number 37.
Yeah. Well, listen. If they didn't want you to have 37 tabs, they wouldn't make the web browser capable of having 37 tabs.
Exactly.
So, Jason, the Rogue Banshee, used to run a gun shop and do a little gunsmithing, and he got this Wheeler Master Gunsmithing interchangeable hammer set. And it looks like a nice version, like a heavy-duty, more durable, like you could pass it down to your kids type little gunsmithing hammer compared to the little crappy one I have from Harbor Freight. Yeah, I mean, I can hit stuff with it, but every fourth or fifth hit, I got to tighten the things so that the little faces don't fall off. And you can read about what he thought here. It looks like a pretty neat little hammer, and budget-wise, compared to some of the other options, it seemed to be cheaper than some of the other options available, but pretty good. So I think he liked it. But if you want all of the details, you're gonna have to go read the review. Although, to be completely honest, it's got a video in there as well, so you don't actually have to read the review if you're not into that.
Videos are easier.
Yep. Yep, that's what I hear. Okay, so I'm going to take the next one. Will be quick because it's a subset of people that would be interested in the debate here. Is Baldy better than the Tooth of Time? Baldy, in this case, is not a reference to my being follically challenged. It is, it's a mountain at Philmont Scout Ranch out in New Mexico. It's the highest peak on the property, often is obscured with clouds because it's, 12,300 or 12,400 feet, something like that above sea level. And the main base camp's at about 6,000 and some change. So it's a pretty good hike to get up there. And it's got a really neat view and everything. It's like the iconic, if you go to Philmont, you want to summit Baldy, so you can say you've been up there. Really cool. You see me and Randall up there a few years ago. I'm not going to get to see Baldy this summer. We got our trek assignments for this summer's trip, and we will be. Baldy is in the north country, they call it, and the trek I'm on is limited to only the south country, so we will not get to see Baldy, but we will get to go on the Tooth of Time, which you see here in this picture. We're up sitting on the top of it with the crew from a few years ago, and that's pretty cool. So for the folks that are into this kind of thing, I got some feedback from some other people who've been out there and put that in. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, please go check that out. And if you're not, then screw you. No, that was mean. That's a scout camp.
It's fair enough.
Why
Everyone should be interested in that.
Hmm?
Everyone should be interested in that.
They should, I think. Hey, what do I know? How's the Hummer going? Oh my goodness. You know what? Not even going to go there. Yeah, we predicted that one. Showing up late, asking about stuff we already talked about, but that's okay. Hey, we're glad you're here. I honestly, I'd have been disappointed if you didn't show up and ask questions about things we already talked about. Cedar Mill Fine Firearms Pistol Case. So, TJ's got a stack of these.
I do.
I'm trying to remember if I have any. I don't think I have any. I think AJ, who owns Cedar Mill Fine Firearms, has not sent me one. I should probably go buy one at some point because they seem like pretty good cases, and or at least that's what I would get out of the 4 out of 5 gears. That's a pretty high rating, and the stack that you see here in Clover's review, all the different colors, that pales in comparison to the mountain of Cedar Mill Fine Firearms pistol cases that TJ has back behind him on the table in his shop. So I think he's a fan.
I like them.
Yeah,
I like them because they stack. That's the biggest part. I mean, normally you get in and pistol cases are falling all over the place, and these I can stack up 15 high. Good to go.
Yeah. You know who else said that recently about some other Cedar Mill Fine Firearms cases? Our buddy Dustin Ellerman, Top Shot Dustin, who runs a camp, marksmanship camp for kids and even for some adults. He uses Cedar Mill cases at the camp and said he loves how they stack together and don't fall over. So there you go. So if you didn't trust TJ telling you, now maybe hearing that Dustin also said that will convince you that they are, in fact, rather stable.
See, TJ wasn't lying.
No, of course not.
I would never do that.
Digiframe. I don't know what that means. Anyone?
Got me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to answer what appears to be a question, but I don't understand it. And I know, DJ Play Nice, you're new here. I know you hang around with Clover quite a bit. He's smarter than me. He figures stuff out. So you have to spoon feed me a little bit more because I am not quite as mentally robust as our little leprechaun friend.
He's busting out the big words. Robust.
Yeah.
That must be his word of the day.
Ding, 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 ding. Oh, he's done now.
The gun on the case in the review. Oh, it must have been like digital camo. Yeah, I don't know. That was
his gun. I think it was digital. The frame of the pistol was digital.
Oh, I got it. Digital camo on the frame. Yeah. I think that's what it looked like. Pretty cool. If you like digital camo, which I kind of do. I know it gets bashed in a lot of military circles. Some of the different digital camo stuff didn't work that well, especially out in the desert, but I think it looks kind of cool, most of it. I actually had a sniper rifle put together a few years ago in a digital camo, like an ACU multicam. No, it wasn't multicam. It was ACU. And yeah, all right, good. Interesting side note, that gun that I had made in digital cam worked about as good as digital cam does in the desert, by the way. It was terrible.
What also doesn't work in the desert is when you're when you're in the desert and you've got your desert camouflage utilities on,
Mm-hmm.
but your mop suit is a woodland camo, it really doesn't do anything good.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, all right, that wraps up all the stuff that's been done now. So we can move in 45 minutes in. We can move into the next portion of the show. We have covered everything that's been published. Let's talk about everything that might be published soon. TJ, I'm looking at you, dude.
I know. I submitted it like before the show.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
The Diamondback, the DBX57. Yeah. I had to go
Nice.
get a few shots in today for some more pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was lovely weather in the rain. So, yeah. So I got that in, and then just what do we got? The Swamp Fox. The Swamp Fox scope,
Mm-hmm.
and then just a couple little. I get some quick views coming up.
Awesome. Let me think. Do I have anything coming? I'm sure I got a bunch of stuff. I've got a variety of things in the queue.
Bunch of Humvee parts.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I've got probably 5 or 6 things that I'm going to try to knock out before the weekend's over. So do me a favor, though, Jeffrey. If I submit 5 or 6 articles in the next few days, can you spread them out over some time so I don't have to? I'm trying to use them as a backup to like spread them out over once a week or something.
Yeah, you and Clover both, man. Clover got on me for that too, because he sent over a couple things, and I published them pretty quick. He's like, "Whoa, slow down, hombre! I'm
Pull
trying
back
to
on those
space
reins."
these out."
Yep.
Yeah, I've got CNC trigger. I'll have I got about 5 or 6 things that I'm working on. Safariland holster, T-Rex arms holster, a couple of firearms. Unfortunately, I've got several things on the way, but with the snow and all of that, I don't know when they're going to show up, because I know there's some things that were supposed to be delivered today that I got the old notification could not make it to destination. So there you go.
Yeah. Wait a second. Can't you just have them? Can't you just have them hold it for you and you go get it?
I could. I haven't left the house in 4 days, so tomorrow the high is actually, for the first time in over a week, it's supposed to be over freezing. It's supposed to be in 34 degrees. So I believe I'll be able to get out of the house tomorrow and probably get over to the post office. Yeah.
I thought you had a Hummer that could
I
drive
do, but there's
anywhere.
no reason to get out.
What?
Like, there's no reason to get out.
To pick up your packages.
Well,
To
I just
prove
got
to
the
people-
notification at 3 o'clock today, so it's not like I could go this afternoon and get it, 'cause they close at 3 o'clock. So I'll go out and get it tomorrow.
That was a very interesting string of excuses. I liked it.
I would just be driving around in the Hummer regardless in the snow. Like,
hell
I
yeah.
wanted my wife. Actually, I was really excited about getting out today, and then she sends me a text. I was recording a podcast, and she said, "We're not leaving." I'm like, "What?" Like, I've been waiting all day to leave. It's we're not leaving. It hadn't stopped snowing, and I was like, okay, we'll leave tomorrow."
She threw you the old no mobile Hummer, huh? Oh, wait a second.
pretty
That
much.
came out wrong.
Well, yeah. She's gonna throw
Yeah.
one of those too. You never know.
So I'm kind of hoping we get some snow so I can go drive around in the snow, because that's something that I tend to do quite a bit. All of my Humvees have been pretty good in the snow, and I hear from some other people, and they're like, "Oh my God, what a pig! This thing's terrible." I'm like, "How are you driving?" And I think that part of it is they're just clueless. They're just too heavy on the gas, too heavy on the brake. And there's so much mass in those vehicles. Same for the H2. They're heavy vehicles, They may be different vehicles, but and TJ's pickup truck too, man. All of them, big heavy vehicles. You got to manage that very gently on slick roads.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people don't do that. They're like, woohoo! They think they're driving a damn Jeep where it's spin the damn tires all the time. Like, you know what? Even a Jeep, you learn how to drive it, it'll do better than the way most people do. But yeah. So last time I pulled someone out was a couple years ago. It was over in front of Jose Juan's house. I can't remember why I went over there. I think maybe I was just driving by just to honk the horn and wave and go, hey, look at me driving when the police said stay home.
Oh, I remember the good old days when you could go out after 10 and do stuff.
Oh, shut up. Yeah. So anyhow, I'm hoping we get enough snow that now they got the truck put back together and some of those basic services done. It's running like a damn champ. So I am hoping to get out and drive around, and I'm debating, do I want to try to pull people out or not? Because
make some money.
Yeah. So the
Could make
last
some
guy
money,
I pulled out, the last guy that I pulled out drove about 12 feet and then put his truck right back in the ditch. And I was like, what's wrong with you, dude? And he's looking at me like, all right, come pull me out again. Like,
Nope.
no, pull yourself out.
Yeah, you got one shot. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the drug dealer. The first one's free. Tell your friends, you know?
Yeah. 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 Well, I decided at that point, should I pull someone out in the future? The other thing I was warned is I've actually had people tell me, even if you're not charging, just doing it for free, print yourself a little waiver before you leave the house and have them sign it that says if anything's broken on their vehicle, that's their problem, not your problem, that you are not liable, that you are helping them, you are being a good Samaritan, and you will not be held liable for anything that's broken, even if you screw up.
It's a crazy world we live in now, isn't it?
That you got to get a waiver before you can pull someone out of a ditch.
Right.
So you're saying that if you have a waiver, you can be a good Samaritan and be clear. So shouldn't like Seinfeld and George and Kramer and all them, they should have signed a waiver. They got put in jail for the Good Samaritan law.
Yeah, I don't remember how that happened, but it sounds legit to me. $100 for each rescue. I have a feeling because of the crazy world we live in, charging someone to pull them out of a ditch like that without having some sort of license, probably thrown in jail, because the government's got to have their hands in it.
Especially up there.
Yeah, you're not allowed to help
it's
people.
Also probably better to have a winch also. That'll do a lot better for you than going frame to frame. A winch would probably be smart to have. You
just
probably put a winch on that Humvee probably easily.
You could always just drive by and just wave at them like, hi, bet you wish you had one of these. See you later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I do have the Bubba rope, though, the kinetic tow rope that, oh, man, I got a couple big ones that I'm not concerned about. On my end, I'm not concerned about breaking anything. If something goes sideways to the point that it breaks the Humvee, then we got bigger problems, But it wouldn't surprise me one bit if I didn't yank the front end clean out from under someone's car, which could be fun to watch as long as they sign that waiver first.
As long as you get some video, that's what it's all about.
That could be good video.
That would be.
Yep. But
that's why you need to go. That's why you need to go drive around in the snow. You get some good video. There'll be some idiots out. It'll be awesome.
So the thing with Humvees is usually when they're in the military, the alignment is either never done or it's done incredibly poorly. And driving on pavement, you don't really notice it unless it gets slick, like it's raining or it's icy or whatever. And then, the tires are always kind of fighting each other, but they just slip enough that it just wears your tires quicker. You get on slickness like ice or snow or something, and they fight each other much more effectively, and you lose traction and you end up in a ditch. And that would be embarrassing. So I don't I don't see that. I mean, Jason, he lives up in an area where he gets more snow and is probably more accustomed to it. If you pull somebody's front end off, just keep going. That's probably a safe bet, actually.
You know what would be really embarrassing is if you had to get a H3 to pull you out. That would be really embarrassing.
Jeff would just abandon it at that point. I think. Look, I'll just come get it tomorrow. It's fine. I don't need to pull. I don't need a tow. It's good. Get a Prius to pull you out.
That'd be good.
Oh, snack.
Don't make fun of the Prius, man. I'm telling you.
4x4.
It is one of the greatest vehicles ever made. I think I mentioned this last week that I found a company that makes lift kits for Priuses, and I'm thinking about it, man.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
Put an 1.5 inch lift under, a little bit bigger tires. Ooh, man.
Some spinners. That's what I'm talking about.
Shut up. I don't want spinners. Come on. Prius.
If you're going to pimp that thing out, pimp it out.
You gotta have the spinners if you're going to go to the Boogaloo Mobile, you know. It's gotta have spinners.
H3 is a glorified Jeep Cherokee.
Ooh.
That, dude, shots fired. If I had a Jeep Cherokee, I would beat your ass for saying that.
Fuck you.
Yeah. H3. So what do you think of the new the EV Hummer?
I will own one day.
Really?
Oh, I think it's awesome.
So it's not like a you don't see it as like a big Prius?
It's a 900 horsepower electric vehicle that's badass. Really is. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm not going to own one when it comes out. I'll have to wait several years, but I'll own one eventually.
Mm-hmm.
It's a $90,000 electric SUV. No, thank you.
Yeah, electric vehicles are awesome though. They accelerate so fast, and then they freaking stop almost on a dime. It's like, oh, look at that.
So a couple weeks ago, there was a hybrid military Humvee for sale on the government auction, and I had to walk away because y'all know how much I love the Prius hybrid system and how much I love my Humvee. Combining the two of those, oh my, whoa, easy boy.
Yeah.
Let's just say I get excited. I had to just walk away. I couldn't even watch the auction because if it was going to go, if it looked like it was going to go at a price that was kind of on the low side, I'd have to just start throwing bids, and that would be bad because it's a prototype, right? So it's not like it has a manual or an easy supply of spare parts. Yeah. And you got to think if it worked well, they probably wouldn't be getting rid of it at the government auction. I think the opening bid though was $4,500, and I was like, oh, I'd put 20 on that. Yeah. And no, but I can't. I don't want to spend 20 grand to get one. But dude,
I think you were looking at how much the batteries were for it, and you're just like, oh,
awesome. It'd be awesome. Yeah, I don't even know if it had batteries in it.
Right.
But I figure I go to the junkyard and pull a couple Prius battery packs and line them up in the bed. Oh, it'd have been awesome. I'd had to put a turret in the top though, and that's real money. Only electric car I'll drive will be the bumper cars. Buck, you don't know what you're missing, brother. I'm telling you, get yourself a Prius. You know what my wife told me a couple days ago? She said she thinks it's time to get another one. I said, do we really need 3 Priuses? We only got 3 drivers. And she's like, yeah, but they're so much better than the other cars we have. I was like, wait a second. Did she just say what I think she said? She's never liked the Humvee to begin with, though. So I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But the van's cool. I like the van. All right. We are so far off the rails. I think we need to make an effort to get back on. So we've already transitioned into the shit shooting portion of the show. So if there's anything anyone wants to talk about, now is your chance before we shut this down. So any current events things, anything else You're welcome to bring it up.
Yeah, the only current event I have is track season started down here in Florida, so we've got track and field going on.
Yeah.
So it keeps me busy in the afternoons.
How are they doing? Have they had any meets yet so far?
Yeah, we had a preseason meet last Friday. So girls did good. The guys are working on it, and then we have a meet Saturday in Kissimmee. So
Okay, cool. Well, good luck to all the youngins for that.
it's good. It's good to get them back out doing stuff. They need it.
Yeah. So what was it, a week and a half ago, probably? Not this past weekend, but the one before that, we took my youngest to the high school state meet. And she only had one event this year. I think she had 4 last year.
Yeah.
Is that right? It was only 2 at the state level, the 2 relays. She still hadn't made it as an individual, but her relay team did pretty well last year. I think they finished 9th this year, which for the whole state's not bad. But
That's not bad.
swim meets, we stood outside. They had a TV set up at a tent outside, and we stood out there and watched it. And everyone is like standing 12 feet apart, and someone walked up. The guy was like, "Oh, I can back up if you want to get up towards the TV." And I'm like, "People, come on, we're outside. Relax."
Yeah, track meets they're big. The referees are heavy on the mask wearing. If you're just spectating around an event or whatever, then they want you to wear a mask. And coaches, if you're here, then you need to wear a mask. But other than that, you're outside. It's Florida.
Yeah. All right. Anything else before we shut it down? I'm going to take that as a no. So we're going to go ahead and say thank you to everyone for coming. Any parting words from you, TJ?
No. It's going to be like 75 tomorrow and sunny. So
yeah, rub it in. And we're going to get a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch of ice tomorrow. So that's going to be fun.
You guys will be chilly.
Yeah. Ghost, any promotional stuff you want to talk about real quick?
No, it's going to be a balmy 34 tomorrow, so I'm looking forward for the first day in a week that it's actually going to be above freezing.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. I might put the old Boogaloo Hawaiian shirt on just because, it's going to be balmy tomorrow.
There you go.
Be careful. I hear the new administration doesn't like anything that has to do with the boog, so they don't understand humor, apparently.
They don't.
So they also weren't planning on coming to Arkansas. They wouldn't be received well in Arkansas. So,
where?
AR Kansas, the tactical Kansas.
Kansas.
AR Kansas. Okay. I know where that is.
Well, they're not coming to Florida. They're trying to ban everybody coming down here.
Right. Oh, did y'all hear that USCCA got changed and moved? It was supposed to be in Nashville, April 16th, the 18th, or whatever it was. It is now going to be October 1st and 3rd in Fort Worth, Texas. I guess like the week prior to NRAM.
Well, do you think they'll have power by then?
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah. Is your new podcast tomorrow, Ghost?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I've got episode 2 of the Jarhead podcast dropping tomorrow with Staff Sergeant Hemming. He's an active duty Marine, but he's also a recruiter right now. An interesting conversation on being a recruiter during the COVID times. Good discussion. Recorded a podcast with Ron Holmes, a 20-year Force Recon MARSOC guy. That'll come out next Thursday. But yeah, tomorrow is Staff Sergeant Hemming, so it's an interesting podcast.
Yeah. Cool. We'll look forward to hearing that one with Ron as well. We saw him a couple weeks ago down in Southwest Florida at the Fire Expo.
Yep, he said it was pretty good. He enjoyed it. He said it was a lot better. He was a little nervous about how it was going to be. He said it ended up being a lot better than he thought it was going to be originally.
Good. Yeah, we didn't know what to expect. And I think the facility didn't know either because they're the middle of nowhere. So if people showed up, they wanted to be there. That no one showed up by accident. No one happened to be driving by and was like, "Oh, what's this?" It's like, mm-mm. They went 40 minutes out of their way to get to it if they were anywhere or longer. So yeah, it was good. Enthusiastic people.
By the
All
way,
right.
Jeff, over on Patreon tomorrow will be next week's podcast with Ron, available for patrons starting tomorrow. So you'll be able to listen to it tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Well, I may have to go check that out early then, since I am a patron of the Ghost Tactical channel. Go whatever you call it. Is it Productions? Ghost Tactical Productions?
It's just whatever. That's what LLC is called, yeah.
The Ghost Tactical Empire. That's what I'll call it.
The Empire.
Yep.
I also did that to remind you of plugging your own Patreon, which you tend to,
He never does.
do.
Yeah, if you're not already a patron and you'd like to be, go find us on Patreon and give us money, because I like to. Yeah, it just doesn't feel right asking people for money. But in all seriousness, though, what did we do recently? I used that money for something.
Ramen.
Was it ramen? I can't remember. Man, I just bought something and was like, you know what? I got a little bit of money built up in Patreon. We're going to use that. It was either a Humvee part or like travel supplies or gas money for the event in Florida. I don't remember. I posted it somewhere, and now I don't remember what it was. But it was a nice surprise that I'd kind of forgotten that money was there. It was like, oh, look at that. We actually can afford to do this. So that was awesome. We really appreciate people stepping up and helping out.
It would help at the gathering, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the next opportunity. Oh, G23's got one. So if you give him money, be sure that you preface it with, "I'm here now, you can start."
Yep.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. He'll appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Or the what I'd miss.
What I miss, yeah. Yep, wouldn't be a show if that didn't happen. All right. Yeah. So the next opportunity to get together with us is The Gathering, March 17th through 19th in Lawrence, South Carolina. The facility is called the Sawmill. And that event is, I know Chad's pretty much running it. Chad, the head of Palmetto State Armory. There are a bunch of brands involved in that. And that is why I've been working frantically on the Battlewagon 3, is to get it ready for the 4 or 5 hour drive down to that event, because we'll set up, Jeff's Hobo Village will be set up there in the display area, complete with the big command tent and Humvee with I hope to have, I know I'm going to have at least one mounted machine gun. And I'm trying to take only fake guns because I don't want to have to watch them. I want to be able to just set them up. And so I'll have the Airsoft 249. I'm going to see if James will let me borrow his fake 50 cal, the M2HB, maybe put that up in the turret, put the 249 on the pedestal in the back. And if I can find a swing arm, then I already have a swing arm mount. I'll have to pick up another airsoft gun or something. And then I can have like a mounted machine gun sticking out the front passenger window. What's that?
I said minigun.
Yeah.
So honestly, I'm actually honestly asking this because I think it'd be kind of cool. How much in general ballpark does an Airsoft 249 run?
Depends on what you get, but anywhere from couple $100 to
whatever you want to spend,
800 or 1,000 or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Just wondering.
Yep. And mine, I actually get it out and shoot it every now and then. Oh, there's a solid choice. And it works. I mean, I can put the battery pack in it and load it up with the airsoft, load a magazine with airsoft BBs and go to town. But I think at an event that would be asking for trouble. I mean,
is it an electric airsoft?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that'd be kind of cool.
We should
Yeah.
definitely do that.
So one of the Humvees that we had at that Fire Expo, Andy's had. Andy rolls heavy for airsoft. He's got 3 miniguns that he mounts, 3 or 4. Maybe it's 4.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
Well, right. Yeah. And I think he's got room. He could probably mount more. But yeah, he's got a bunch of those little miniguns. They look pretty cool. And the number of times I've been to his shop 2 or 3 times, and he brought his truck and we had it there the whole weekend. We never got the guns out and shot them. That was a missed opportunity. We should have. And he left his miniguns in my van, so he didn't have to haul them into the hotel. Pack them up and take them back.
We should have used them.
Are you saying that the hotel manager might not have liked miniguns being walked through the lobby, not knowing what they were?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that they were heavy and awkward, and he already had luggage and stuff, and it was one less thing to carry by leaving them in my van instead of taking them.
We were staying there anyway. So.
Yeah,
I would have loved to have seen the front desk clerk's face if you're walking through the lobby with a minigun strapped to your shoulder. That would be
carrying them. Yep.
As they're dialing 911.
Yeah.
Like, hold on just a minute, sir. Just 1 minute.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be tough. Could you imagine answering that 911 call or receiving the radio call that says, we need you to go check this out. Someone walking through a lobby with a bunch of machine guns. Like, yeah.
They'd be like,
that's going to go down one of 2 ways. Either it's like, I'm going to sit there and say, I didn't hear. I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you said. I can't make it. Or I'll be like, dude, I'm going to go just to go talk to the guy with the machine guns. That's what I'm going to do.
Yep.
It's cool. Florida. It's probably like, whatever. Happens all the time.
Yeah. Yep. All right. That's it for this evening. Thanks everyone for squandering an hour and 12 minutes of your evening. I really appreciate it. TJ, thank you for assuming the assistant overlord role this evening. Ghost, it's always a pleasure when you grace us with your presence. It was the highlight of my evening, as far as you know.
You need to get a life, my friend.
We all know that.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for keeping it lively, and we appreciate the comments and questions along the way. Until next time, we'll see you at the range.